So right off, how many of you have ever sat next to just a really warm, fuzzy person? How many of you ever sat next to a cold, prickly person? How many of you knew this without even a word being exchanged? How many of you have thought about somebody and then they called you that same day? So that is all energy. And so everything we're discussing today is energy and how energy travels and how we're all connected. And so before you leave here today, you are going to go home with some tools. One on how to change the story in your mind, how to change your thoughts and then change your life by different techniques that we're going to use. How to protect yourself against some toxic people. Not that we ever have any in our life, but in case we did, we would learn how to do that. We're going to have a better understanding on how to clear your subconscious mind of limiting beliefs and how to protect yourself and to manifest what you want, how to activate your left and right brain, and how to clear the body of physical and emotional pain. So there's a lot of different belief systems here. And so just to respect and honor everybody's belief systems, but for the sake of me having to say every time I want to say higher power, higher self, universal energy, God, I'm going to just say God for me, and that's my belief system. And then if you want to change it to whatever you can in your head, you can. So I'm going to just ask you if something seems kind of weird or different, that you shelf it. Like, don't just make a judgment call right off like, this is so ridiculous, I'm not going to do this. Because everything I thought was ridiculous when I started this work 30 years ago, I'm doing. So, but I shelved it. I did not, I just thought, that's a different concept. I'm not sure if I believe that or not, but I just shelved it instead of totally discarding it. So just be open to, it may seem a little different or it may resonate right off. It's okay either way, just don't make a judgment call on either one. So, so now I'll kind of start in, and I'm just giving you a few little handouts, but on the first one, let's start with the mind. On the mind, we're going to start with just getting keys to getting what you want. And these are just like 5 basic principles that are so simplified. But if you don't have these 5 down, you probably won't get what you want. One is to know what you want, not be indecisive. I want this. Well, maybe I want this. Second one is to ask for what you want. The third one is to believe that you can have it. And the fourth one is to let go and allow. Because sometimes we plan so tight how we want it to look that we don't think that maybe God has a better idea. And so if we have it so regimented and so tight, we're not allowing maybe another idea to transform. So if we say this is what we want, I don't quite know how I'm going to get it, but I'm stating this is what I want. I'm going to trust and allow that you might have a better plan for me and just see how it evolves. Then, you know, my intent was I wanted to get my kids well, and my intent was I just wanted to help people that I was close to, and it just kept evolving to this part. And so I would have never put this down to do, but I'm glad I did. But I just, you know, God has kind of led me through this whole process. And then the 5th one is involve God in the whole process. So whatever we put our faith in will be your life experience. So if you don't believe in the Bible, just think of this as a really nice phrase. But in Matthew 21:22, it says, whatsoever you shall ask in prayer, believing you shall receive. And in Mark 11:24, it says, therefore I say unto you, what things soever you desire when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. So the main thing there is that your desire and your belief both have to be a 10. So if I have a desire, I want to lose 10 pounds, and that is a 10. I want it really, really bad. But the belief that I'll lose 10 pounds is a 5. I'm probably not going to get it. Or if I believe I want to have a new career change or a new career path, and I had this strong desire that's a 10, but my belief is like a 5, then I probably won't get it either. And so maybe asking God to help your belief match your desire so that it can bring about transformation. Because the belief, put a kink in the belief is self-doubt. And so when we allow doubt to come in, it lowers that belief. And the belief and the desire have to match. And so I think that's probably the biggest reason why things don't transform for people is there's a little kink in the hose of feeling this little self-doubt, or it works for everybody else, but it doesn't work for me. We choose our perception, and our perception becomes our reality. And I think we all have different versions of that. I like this one story to kind of illustrate it the most. That there was this family who'd been living in one area for a really long time, and they were just moving. They were all in their station wagon, and they went to the gas station, and they were filling up in their new little town they were in, and they said to the guy filling up the gas, you know, what's it like here? Do you like it? Are the people good? What's it like in this area? And he said, well, what was it like in your last area? And they said, oh, it sucked. The people were bad. The community was no support. We didn't get any, no one was friendly to us. We hated the weather. It just was hard to get to know people. And he said, it's a lot like that here. And then he left, and then another station wagon came up with a group of a family, and what's it like here? We're just moving here from da-da-da, and what is it like here? And he said, well, what was it like where you moved before? Oh, I loved it. The people were great. The weather was wonderful. Our neighbors were friendly. Well, that's what it's like here. And so really, we always take it with us. People always want to run and flee and think that it's greener on the other side, but the same teachers are still there on the other side of the fence. And our perception is the one that is, we're attracting those people and situations to validate our story. So the story in our head is people are unfriendly, they're unsafe, it's hard to get to know people, people are really judgmental. Well, that's the filter you're looking at life through. That's what you're going to keep attracting to validate that belief. And so it's basically when we do change our perception, our whole reality changes. And so all of us in here could, like say you're all listening to me and we all watched an accident that happened behind me and you all saw it and the policeman took several of us and asked for a report. I may have seen the guy bend down to pick something up on the floor. You may have seen the car hit it first, and we all would have saw something different, and we all would have had a different perception of what we saw happened, even though we all saw the same thing. I'm the oldest of 7 in my family, and we sit around our table and told a story, and we're all going, that didn't happen like that, because we all saw it from a different perception. So really, the biggest thing about the mind is if we can change our perception on how we see things, then we can change our reality and we can change our whole experience by just changing that little part. I love this sentence by Michael Ruiz. He said, it's at the bottom, you have the power to create. Your power is so strong that whatever you believe comes true. You create yourself, whatever you believe you are. You are the way you are because that is what you believe about yourself. Your whole reality, everything you believe is your creation. You have the same power as any other human in the world. The main difference between you and someone else is how much you apply your power. What you create, you're with your power. So if you want to see what your perception is, just look what you're attracting. And that's a pretty good indicator. And so it's a huge indicator of what our thoughts are and what we keep getting back. And so it's not a judgment call, it's just more of an awareness of, if I keep attracting negative people, is there a common denominator here? If I keep attracting this kind of situation, what's the common denominator? And maybe being able to just take a look at ourselves without judgment, but just saying, maybe this is an area where I can improve, instead of beating ourselves up, just looking for different ways that we can improve and better ourselves instead of using it as a time to stab ourselves. Look at the next page. This one is by Spencer Kimball, and he says, our ills are usually of our own begetting. They must be corrected by ourselves. Man is the master of his destiny, be it good or bad. Man has the inherent capacity to heal himself physically. A doctor may cleanse a wound, sew it up, bandage it well, but the natural power of the body must do the healing. Likewise, a healing process in the spirit and mind must come from within, from self-will. Others may help to cauterize the wound, suture it, and provide a clean, proper environment for the healing, but the body, with the aid of the spirit, must heal itself. And I just think that's so powerful, because the body, mind, and spirit all have to be in harmony together for you to get a permanent change. Whether it's with your health or whether it's with emotionally, they all have to work together. Any autoimmune imbalance is fighting against the self. So if the negative self-talk, if the things that we're saying to ourselves is negative all the time, is going to affect our immune system, because the autoimmune is fighting against, the cells are fighting against each other. And so this is just a good indicator of what you're thinking. And so if all three are in harmony, we can get pretty good results in healing physical and emotional pain. So Jane usually does this number at the end of our workshop, but because she has another engagement, she's going to do it at the first. So I'm going to try to make this fit in the first instead of at the end. So when we all have certain aspects of ourselves that we feel sometimes so overwhelmed, and it's usually we feel overwhelmed when we're trying to fix another person or make another person be different, or feeling frustrated that our expectations aren't being met. And sometimes there's only this much that we can do, but we're trying to do this. And so sometimes we just need to surrender it over, because us feeling like we need to fix or create a whole different experience when it's really not our business, it's their business, or it's God's business. And when we are trying to be involved in so many aspects of that, he's probably just saying, just surrender it over to me. Just relinquish all control, because you have none. And if you guys haven't been getting that lesson, I have been a lot, right? We have no control, right? I mean, we can do over our emotions, but over everything around us, it's pretty much a given. So I'll let Jane, this is Jane, she's been singing with me for years. And I'm grateful for her, because music always connects the body, mind, and spirit together. So just enjoy it and listen to the words to this.
To my greatest, highest
She's on the end of my CD, and most people don't make it to the end to hear her sing because they're asleep. But she has some CDs back there too with just her music alone that she's selling also for $10, and also she's on both of my CDs. So I love her voice; it's very soothing. So thank you for adding that touch. So what is energy? Everything in this whole world is energy. Everything is energy. The carpet is energy. The walls are energy. The flowers, the trees, everything around us is energy. And all of us are all composed of the same matter that is the universe. And that's why when it's kind of gloomy weather like this, sometimes it can affect our moods. Because, and I don't know if you have, but with all of the national disasters that are going on, does that affect your moods? Because we're all connected. We're all connected energetically, and we can feel the pain of those people that are suffering and what it would be like. And we're feeling all a part of that. We feel the earthquakes, we feel all the tsunamis, because we're all connected with the same matter that we're all made of. And so that's why you can have you can sit next to a person that feels cold and prickly, and you can feel that because we've had that in us before. And we know when we sit next to someone warm and fuzzy, we have been that warm and fuzzy person before. And so we can just feel really basically what a lot of people are feeling based on our experiences, and just knowing really we're all so connected. And so it's just like pretty powerful. So everything, all the atoms are constantly vibrating. They never stop vibrating. And they vibrate at a high or a low frequency. So the frequency is depending if the atoms are vibrating at a higher frequency is depending on what's going on in that atmosphere. So if I will just say for me, if I wanted the atoms in me to vibrate higher and connect with a higher frequency of other people's atoms that are vibrating at a higher frequency, then I would want to put good things in my body, good food that are still alive, that aren't in a box or a can. I would want to avoid things that are dead. I would want to read good books and watch good movies that are uplifting and edifying to my soul. I would want to listen to really good music that makes me feel good inside. If I did that on a daily basis, it would raise my frequency up. If I lived in a space of gratitude and optimism, it would raise my frequency up. So I would be vibrating at a higher frequency. So I would attract people that are vibrating more at that higher frequency than if I was having a bad day and say I got out of bed and I stubbed my toe and then it hurt and the alarm went off late and I got up late and then I burned me with the curling iron and I'm kind of upset and I'm angry and I don't stop it and it just keeps snowballing, and then I get mad at the kids and I bark at the kids, and then I bark at my husband and they snap back at me, and then it keeps going, and then I go to work and I attract all the angry drivers on the road and I'm flipping them off and they're flipping me off. Not really, I don't. But as you get the drift, and it just kind of goes, and then you even attract people at the store that are mean. Really, I've watched it work. And so you just kind of start attracting, and that cycle just keeps going, and I just keep vibrating lower and lower and lower, and I keep attracting angry people that are angry with me. You know, I'm angry and they're angry. But I just noticed that if I could catch myself in the middle of that cycle, and sometimes all I do is just say, stop. Just stop. My gosh, look at your head. Look what you're doing. You're, you know, and sometimes all I have to do is just say, stop. And then I'm going to teach you some techniques to take that out. But sometimes we just need to stop us from spiraling down with our thoughts, and our thoughts will just take you there because we just keep going to what's familiar and comfortable, and that's what we do, and we got to change that neurological pathway into another one and produce something different. So if you think it's weird, but for reals, we have moved like every 2 to 3 years, and we used to, but we kind of chilled out this last little bit, but all over. And we would move, and some houses didn't have any furniture in them, but even with no furniture, I could walk in and go, ew, I don't want this house. It just feels yucky. And then I could walk in a house that didn't have any furniture and go, oh, this feels so yummy in here, because the people who lived there left their mark, just like dogs do. And you can feel it. You can feel it in the atmosphere because their energy got on the walls, it got in the carpet, it's everywhere. And so you can feel it. And so, have you ever felt that? And then even with furniture in there, you can walk in somewhere and some houses just go, oh, this just feels so warm. I want to stay here all day. And other homes you walk in, you can't wait to get out of there, right? And so it's just because our energy gets, everything is absorbing it and it's picking it up everywhere. Before I do an event, I clear the energy in the room. So if something yucky and negative was in here last time, you guys aren't picking up on it. And so I just feel like it's just a way of just being aware of what are you leaving? What is your mark you're leaving with people when you leave? What is your mark you're leaving in your bedroom? What is the energy you're leaving in there? So when you walk in your room, does your room feel inviting or does it feel like a stress pad, And so just being able to clear that room and clear that space, which I'll teach you how to do as we go on too, really helps. Have you guys been able to go in a room sometimes where somebody has been arguing and there's been an intense conversation and then you walked in and they stopped talking and you could feel it? And you hear it was so thick I could cut it with a knife. And that is, that's energy. It's a really powerful magnetic field that we're all tied into, all of us. And if one of us is sad, I can remember I was the other day and we walked past, two of us walked past this one girl and we said, hi. And she said, hi, and walked past and we both said, ooh, could you feel that? Her energy was so big, it almost knocked us down. You could feel what she was feeling. Another one is when you feel, and I'm sure you've all had this, I'm not the only one, where you feel pretty good and then you be around a certain person and all of a sudden you feel drained. And after 15 minutes, they've just sucked the life right out of you. Have you had that? And I call them energy vampires. And they just suck the life right out of you, the energy right out of you. And it's maybe even 10 or 15 minutes and I just call them nedra negatives. It's just hard to even be around them. And it's toxic. It's just like this toxicity. And it's sad, but sometimes we could be married to a person that feels toxic to us, or sometimes we could have kids that are toxic, or sometimes we could have a boss that's toxic, that just has this energy that sucks the life out of us. And so all of that is proof that we're all connected, proof of this energy. And I'm building my case. We're going to come to a solution for all of these, so I'm not forgetting that. We're going to come back. But I'm just trying to kind of build the case of energy and what energy is and how powerful it affects our mind. Or when you wave at someone in the car and they don't wave back at you, do you automatically think, oh, are they mad at me? Or do you think, ew, she's stuck up? Or do you think, oh, they didn't see me, Our thoughts are constantly doing things based on our perception and taking things personal or not taking things personal or giving people the benefit of the doubt. Or if we have a really sensitive heart, I feel like it's harder to not take things personal the more sensitive your heart is. And I just think we're wired like that. Some people are wired to be really sensitive and some people can let things roll off their back easier. And I don't think one is bad and one is good. I just think that's how we're wired. But it's learning to not, the people who maybe could be a little more sensitive, learn to be a little more sensitive, and the people that are too sensitive learn not to be as sensitive, is trying to find the balance between both of them. Just do this with the person next to you. Just kind of rub your hands together and then just kind of put your hands do this with me, Brinley. So you're going to go like this and then just kind of, and you can feel the energy with your hands. But before I start, I'm going to have you do this exercise. You're going to feel it first, then you're going to do it again and put them close together like this, and then your eyes are going to be closed, and the person that has mine are open, hers are closed, and then I'm just going to kind of move my hands back, and she's going to say, okay, you moved back, and then I'm going to move them up, and she's going to say closer. I can feel it closer. Does that make sense? Just try it. Who doesn't have a partner? Why don't you come up here with her, will you? Does everyone have a partner? I don't know whose this is, but
I'm like, it's her sitting there.
Okay, go ahead. Thanks. Have your eyes open first and just feel it. But you kind of want them to be close together at the first so you can just feel the energy when you put them close together. And then practice closing your eyes and then moving it. Take turns.
Okay, I'll close my eyes first.
Yes, I had this on, but it was so hot. Yes. Oh, thanks. You're funny. You remember. Could you all feel it? Did everybody feel it? So it's, it's not tangible, but you can feel it because it's just energy. And just like all the things that I've been saying so far have just been energy. So this is a really key component that is like so huge that people don't realize it. But your thoughts and your words are your most powerful mechanism for controlling your vibration. And I have an experiment that I did because having 6 children and they all had to do science fair projects, I thought, they're going to do it on something I believe in and that I want to do. So I did this science fair project for all my kids and they all won with it. So it's a really cool one. So I took 2 tomatoes from, from the same vine. And then I took them off, and then 1 tomato, I had the kids, well, we did this, all the kids were little then, and I took a glass of water, and in the water, I filled the water up with this glass that was clear, and then we all took turns yelling at the glass, "You stupid water, I hate you, you make me sick, I hate the taste of you, I hate you so much." And we just passed the glass around, and everybody said really mean, crude thoughts to the glass. The boys loved it because they didn't get in trouble. And then, so then that was 1 glass. And then we took another glass of water and we were like, "Oh, I love you. You're so beautiful. Every time I drink you, it's just so soothing and silky. And I love you so much, water. I couldn't live without you. You're my everything." And we all took turns talking to the water that way. Then on the icky water, we put "I hate you" in big black letters around it. And then on the other water, we put "I love you." And then I took the tomatoes and I put them both in those glasses of water, both off of the same vine. Then I put 1 in the windowsill with light and I let it listen to Beethoven and classical music. And then I put the other one in the closet and had that really, what is it called, rap music, and that, I don't like it. That music playing, really hard metal stuff in that closet. And then we did it for 24 hours. And then I took them out of the water. And then I just put them on a plate, the "I hate you" plate and the "I love you" plate, and we just put them on the plate, and then I just left them on the counter. And the "I hate you" tomato wilted in like 24 hours. Some were a little bit more and a little bit less. And the "I love you" tomato stayed plump and really pretty for like almost 2 months. And so it was really cool to see the power of words. And water is a conduit for energy. And so the water absorbed the energy of those words and made the tomato, that's made of the same matter as water too, pick up on those words. Don't you think that's fascinating? And then we took pictures, of the tomato every phase. Day 1, day 2, day 3, until really by the end it was just so shriveled up. And so it's a good experiment to do with your kids if you have kids or grandkids even. And it just is even good just to show the power of words, Because even picking up the carpool, having 4 boys and listening to how mean they are, you know, when they get in the van, "Oh, you idiot," you know, they're so mean. I think I would have had no self-esteem in the first 5 minutes of the carpool if I was one of those boys. And they're just so mean. And I just think, you know, and then I would try to correct my kids after, and they'd go, "Mom, they know we're kidding." I said, "Your spirit doesn't know you're kidding. That's harmful. That's mean. And if they're sensitive in that area, they will keep thinking about that all day long. You can't say that." So I did that experiment just to show them the power of words and what that does to the inside of you. So I took that experiment, and then I kind of took it a step further. So I went one time when I lived in Idaho, and my girlfriend built all of her houses. Her and her husband would build them and then sell them, and they built them together. And she had all this property up Buckskin. Do you know where that is? Anybody who's from Idaho? Anyway, it's that we went up to the top of this mountain, and she took these divining rods, 2 copper rods that she got at Home Depot, and took these divining rods, and we went up on the mountain, and we just kind of went around like this with these divining rods. I had a set and she did, and then the rods would open up when there was water, because they were a conduit of energy, and I'm holding on to them. So my energy's picking up where there's water. So we're walking around, and she would go, "Oh, here's water," and they would build a house here. Let's see where the next water is. And that's how they found their house, was with how, I mean, that's pretty trusting to start building a house like that. I mean, I was floored. But she said it's worked for years, and they've always done that. So then this was so fascinating to me. So then I started thinking, you know, about my little tomato experiment. So then I thought, okay, well, if the tomatoes picked up on the water, and the water is a conduit of energy, then our body is mostly made of 90% water. And so if the water that surrounds our brain and our organs is polluted all the time by our negative thoughts and our negative words, can you see how we create imbalances in the body and the brain, and why sometimes we say we have a fog brain and we just can't think, or we feel sick in one area or another area, because our words are our most powerful vibration. And so if we're saying mean things to ourselves or about others, then we're polluting the water in our body that surrounds all of our organs. And so we want to get that out of there as soon as you think it, so it doesn't pollute those. I clear myself every morning and every night, because I'm so determined I will never be sick again, because I don't ever want to go to that place again. And so I just make sure I get it out as soon as it comes in my head. And I'm human, so my ego gets offended, and my flesh gets, you know, bent out of shape when I eat something really bad, but it tasted really good. But, you know, we're all human, and so we all feel these feelings and these emotions. And so I thought, I'm going to do this little experiment. So I started measuring people's energy with these divining rods. And so when my kids would walk in the house with their friends, I'd go, "Walk towards me." And then, so when they would walk in, if the kids had a really high frequency, you know, and they were vibrating pretty high, and they were good with themselves, they could walk towards me, and the rods would open up like that in like 1 second. But the kids who had really negative energy, a pessimistic attitude, they were walking towards me, and the rods didn't open up at all, because they didn't have a big energy field. It was all shut down. It was their energy field was, you know, like crushing in on them. Sometimes people say they feel like they're suffocating. And so this is like really cool. So I'm going to do this for you guys. So who just thinks they had a really bad day today, or want to just test this out? It's not that this is how you are, but maybe today it just was a yucky day, and you just want to measure your energy with this. Just see. It's not that we're not judging you. I just need a good guinea pig. Who had a yucky day? Did you have a yucky day?
I had a yucky week, but today was a little better.
Okay.
My week's been really good.
Okay, go back there then. Yeah, go clear back there by the... And this one man that was Mr. Skeptical of America was here last time, and he said, "Give me that, I don't believe you." And I let him do it, and he said, "Oh my hell," that's what he said. So, okay, well you can if you want, I won't judge. Okay, wait, to go back a little further. So so you can why don't you do this for a minute? Think about your yucky week for a second. Just get those yucky feelings back in there about how yucky your week was. Put them all back in.
I gotta move, I'm feeling them.
Pushing them off the chair.
Okay. Okay, come towards me.
Oh, I'm still.
Well, there.
Was that bad or good?
No judgment, just that this is where your energy is, okay? That's about where you're vibrating at. That's your energy. Well, there's not a should, it's just a measurement. That's all. No judgment. Who's next? Okay, go. Think your yuckiness. Yes. Think it really good, like really get it in there. Really pollute all those organs. About the same place.
Oh, no, you're...
Okay, you two, Carol is going to take you out. And Carol, will you take him out to the lobby, and then we'll come and get Vanna White in just a minute. She's going to,
Oh, okay.
You two just go out there in the lobby with her.
Shock therapy out there.
Yeah. I didn't want to tell them or they wouldn't go. So this is like so powerful, and I'll go more in depth, but this is just the beginning part of it. If you notice that one of your kids or a spouse or someone, a boss or anything is just kind of having a bad day and you feel powerless in how to let them have a better day, and you try talking to them and it doesn't work, and you try doing all these things and it doesn't work, this is one that you can do. So let me think who went out there. Okay, both of these guys know this, so I can teach you this technique.
Artie's had a really bad week.
Oh, do you want to do it too? Let's do it. Come on. Let's go out with Vanna. Come back here. And let's do yours, because you'll see. And stay back there. Do you need to think very hard? Or is it really current?
Can't even think.
Okay, well, that's even better. Okay. Mm-hmm. Keep going. There. Well, we got oh my hell, that's good. Okay. Okay, so go out there with Vanna. Okay. And go clear out there. I think they're in the lobby. Okay, so we'll go more in depth with this just a little bit later because I don't want to make them wait so long. Will you just take her out there too? And just wait for just a couple of minutes. So this is I'll go more in depth with this technique, but for right now, all we're going to do is just visualize. The heart chakra is green and pink. So you can either use either color, and you're going to visualize sending that person that comes in here, love. So do you remember the three? We had Kristen and who?
Artie.
Artie. And who was the other one I had? Marnie. We had those three. Kristen here, Marnie back there, and then the last, Artie. Who? Ardith, okay. Ardith those three that just walked out. So just, like right now, just visualize the three of them. And then you're going to send them love from your heart to their heart. I'm going to go more in depth, but put your thumb and your middle finger together. And we'll show you this a little bit later. But this is called a heart link. So now we're going to do the beginning part of the heart link. So think of those three, and you're just sending the most beautiful, unconditional love. Like you just want their day to go better, and you just want them to feel loved, and you want them to feel accepted, and that they're appreciated and valued as a person. And just do whatever you want. Send it to their little spirits. Just send like pink light from your heart to their light, or green light from your heart to their heart. So just do that for a minute. And just take a minute and do it to all three of them. Just lots of love. Love and compassion. Because we've all had icky days and want someone to fill us up with love. Okay, so now When they come in, I'm going to have her still think of the icky thought, as icky as she can get it. And then you guys, the whole time she's here, just tons of green and pink light going into her heart. Okay? And then you'll see the difference. Even though she's thinking yucky, she hasn't changed her attitude at all. But it's just us sending that light. Okay. Could you hear me? Or you had your ear to the... Okay, keep talking.
Okay.
Okay, just want one. Okay, go back there where you were before. So still just do the same thing. You didn't do any positive mental work out there, but just think your whole yuckiness again. And then just wait till I get these ready. I can't. I'm just kind of can't having any control on them. Okay, start walking. What? What?
Tricked me. It's energy in here.
But did you feel any different when you went back there?
Did I feel? Well, yeah, it smelled. It's hurting me.
Well, that will energize anybody. But did you feel anything more so than the first time?
Different when I walked in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Because we were having an interesting conversation about being negative out there. And then when I walked in, it did feel different from out there.
Just a little bit lighter?
It did feel better.
So
it did feel different,
everybody here was sending you love and giving you a heart link and was filling your little heart up with love. And so your energy from
So we were talking
them...
about negative things out there.
Yeah. But the energy that they filled you up with, they did it and it projected it. Don't you think that's fascinating? And for doubting Thomases, you can come and do this after, I promise. You can do it to each other because it really does work. You can't hang on to it all. You just have to let it move. Now we'll do the next one that comes in. I know you're a doubting Thomas.
You don't have to bless those.
Here, come on in. Yeah. Huh? What? Okay. Okay, go back there. You are, huh? I'm not.
From Home Depot?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Marnie.
Yes.
Just still think about your day. And then if you want to even picture it worse, you can. And then if you want. And then just start walking towards me. Magico!
It's because you all were on a mono-pono-onoing, huh?
They all gave you a heart link. Did you feel extra loving in your heart?
I just had a feeling that it was going to be good when I came in.
Could you feel it? Did you
It
feel
was lovely out there.
Did you feel as yucky back there?
No, when you said make it worse, I was like, I can't though.
You couldn't. That was one point I wanted to make. Good. They all sent you tons of love and light with a heart link. So you actually got to see what a heart link felt like. Okay. Come on in. Here's Betty Bubble. Go back there. Okay, Betty. Let's do it again. And if you still want to think yucky, you can. And then just start walking towards me. Whoa! What happened out there? Did you get zapped up to heaven while we were gone? No, but energetically, everyone in this room sent you tons of love and light. And from their heart to your heart, they were sending you this beautiful pink and green heart. I mean, green and pink light to your heart. Did you feel a little bit lighter?
I do, actually. But I did go to the bathroom. I thought
Oh, well, that always helps. That will make you feel lighter, definitely. But yeah, she got rid of all the yucky energy when you went potty. But do you three ladies feel just a little bit really lighter in your heart? Do you kinda?
I felt giggly too, kind of like.
Yeah.
I would laugh.
Yeah, because that dark cloud kind of left. It was overpowered by love. And so one time I taught my kids this stuff since they were little, but one time I got in a intense discussion, I should say, with one of my teenage sons. And he was in the basement and it was late. It was like 1 a.m. I said, you know what, we're not getting anywhere with this. We'll pick back up on this tomorrow. It's just getting worse. It's escalating. I'm just going to bed. So I went up to bed. I'm lying in bed, and I just kept hearing, go downstairs, go tell them you're sorry. And I'm like, no, it's freezing cold. I just got all warm, and I had still a little bit of pride going on. And I stayed in bed, and then I kept hearing, go down, go down, go down. And I just went, no, pride, ego is winning. And then I stayed there, and I kept thinking, I will mean more in the morning when I sleep on it. But no kidding, it was so strong. I got up out of bed, and I walked downstairs, and I opened up his bedroom, and he went, it worked! And he did it on me. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, think if I hadn't listened, it would have shattered my whole little testimonial of this. But I've never had anyone do it on me. And so I really didn't know what it felt like to have it be done to me. And so that was really cool. I mean, I could not stay in that bed. It was so powerful. So I'm going to teach you what a heart link is right now, a full blown out heart link. This is so magical. I could tell you 5 million stories of a heart linking that have done wonders for me, but I won't in lieu of time, but just know this really works. And if you don't believe me, you go home and practice it. So music, you're going to put your thumb and your middle finger together, and then we're going to visualize this all together. So just close your eyes, because the better you visualize, the better it goes into the memory of the cells and the subconscious. So close your eyes and visualize beautiful green light swirling around your heart. You can just relax your hands in your lap. Just amazing, beautiful green light. Just totally relax your hands in your lap. Taking deep, slow breaths. And then imagine this green light swirling around from the front and the back of your heart chakra. If I like to visualize pink swirls, because green and pink are the heart chakra. And then imagine all of this love and gratitude and compassion that you feel towards God or your higher power, your higher self, or the universe. And just send the most beautiful, unconditional love, compassion, and gratitude. And just send it up through your heart chakra, up through your throat, up through the crown of your head, up, and just send it up to God. This beautiful green light. Just appreciation and gratitude and love. Then imagine God or your higher self sending this light back down through the top of your crown chakra, down into your heart, and filling you up with the most incredible, beautiful, unconditional love. Not judging you for your performance, but just for who you are. Compassion for everything you've had to go through. He's felt and been a part of. And gratitude that you've still stayed connected even though you've gone through some pretty hard stuff. Gratitude for all the lives you've touched. Gratitude for your goodness and your beautiful heart. And fill your heart up with that. Now, when your heart is full, do like a laser light of green light to someone you want a heart link to that maybe just needs the most beautiful, unconditional love from God through you. It's not your love, because your love can sometimes be conditional, but God's is not. Let God's love go through your heart to that person who needs love, compassion, and gratitude right now, and fill them up. Could be someone you're having conflict with. Do it to 2 or 3 people. Maybe someone you're having a hard time forgiving. Now do it just collectively to all the people in Mexico and Texas and all where the national disasters have been happening. Collectively send that whole country compassion and love and gratitude that all the people that are going over there helping them. Florida. When you feel like you can't do anything for those people and you're powerless, you can do this. It's powerful when there's a huge group like this sending it to them. They'll feel it. Now, this is not meant in any way to be funny, but really we need to send it to the President of the United States and to all the people that have our care in their hands. The congressman and everyone who is dealing with the decisions for our safety, the military. Okay, you can just slowly open your eyes. So that is such a powerful tool. Could you feel it? And you could feel just getting your heart filled up first, because sometimes our heart is so depleted that it's hard for us to give love to somebody else when we're so depleted. But if we can send it up and then have it come back down to us. And if you're mad at God or you're mad at Christ or whatever, then picture universal energy, which is pretty neutral, and just maybe do whatever you feel you can connect with that can just fill you up with that unconditional love and gratitude and compassion. Those 3 words do so much for the heart chakra. The highest frequency in the body is gratitude. The highest by far. Over love even. And so if we're having a bad day, if we can start counting our blessings and if we can start saying things that we really are grateful for instead of focusing on what isn't working, maybe focus on what is working, then we can raise the frequency in our body and start attracting something a little bit different. But that heart linking, when you feel powerless to help someone, it really works. I mean, this man, even he came in, I probably said hi to him 5 times. I mean, I don't even have a connection with him at all. And he came in church and he sat down in front of me and I kind of went, hi, how's it going? And I'm behind, how's it going? And tapped him. No answer. I thought, oh, well, he didn't hear me. Hi, how are ya? Straight ahead. And then what do? My first is like, rear, you know. So I kind of went, well, fine, then I'm not going to say hi to you. And I kind of went into the little ego thing for a minute. And then I sat there and I went, okay, this is really stupid to let this person that's not saying hi to me affect what I'm feeling right now. So it took me a minute. I was kind of, because I did it 2 or 3 times and he just, and so I was like, okay. So then I thought, well, I'm just going to heart link you because I'm not going to let you affect my church meeting where I want to come and get a little spiritual enlightenment. So then I heart linked him. And then I felt better because it left me and I thought, oh well. And then we got ready to leave and we were walking out and all he did was kind of go like this, behind me and grab my hands. And my heart was going, because then I thought maybe I did do something. I didn't even know. And so then anyway, he, his whole family was walking out. And then he said, I owe you an apology. I'm really sorry. I woke up with this huge migraine and I don't even want to be here. And I said, oh, that's okay, no big deal. I just flipped you off. I'm not really, I didn't say that. But his wife overheard that, and she said, he has never apologized to me in 35 years of marriage. And she says, I've never even heard him apologize to the kids. I go, well, magic. and I went, and one time I got pulled over by a cop and I was freaking out and I said, I started going into panic and oh my gosh. And then I went, heart link him. And so he got my stuff and then he's back in his car and I'm heart linking him. And he came back and it was a bad one, you guys. And don't judge me, do not judge. But I was putting my mascara on in the car. And so I was doing this, driving, and he had been following me for a long time with his lights on, and I didn't see it because I was doing my mascara. So then he had to turn the siren on, and that's when I heard him. So when he came to me, he wasn't just a little upset. He was really upset, and I got about a 10-minute lecture on how dangerous that was, what I was doing. And that's how he left me when he went back to the car to check all my stuff. And that's when I knew I was in deep doo-doo and I got to do something fast. And I did Spider-Man hands. And I heart linked him. And then he came back a little while and I was just doing that the whole time. And then he comes in and he goes with his things, lady, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm giving you a warning this time. But don't you ever do this again, And I was like, oh my heck, that was the most powerful thing ever because I really should be nailed. So, I'm just saying it works in every situation you want. It's so good. I could just tell you a million of those. So just do it. One mom did it to a whole soccer team of us. Her soccer team was playing because they were feeling down because they were losing. And she heart linked the whole team and they started scoring again. So, it's just so many stories. But that works energetically when you feel powerless to a situation or a child or someone close to you is sad and you don't know how to kind of help them. That's a really great tool. So now look at the, yes.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure, yeah.
So when you told us to heart link to somebody specific,
Mm-hmm.
I thought one person, but my brain took me to somebody else.
Because they probably needed it.
Is that common?
Yeah. It's like saying, pick me. You're energetically scanning. You're all connected. Your people know. You guys that have done cranials with me, when we've done energy with another person, they feel it. They actually feel it. And so and they don't know and they'll say after they did, it does work, but you're doing this energy work. And so you're kind of scanning the people you knew and that little spirit of whoever it was said, I need it. So that's cool that you were in tune enough to pick up on that. Or maybe it just came to that person really needs it and maybe you weren't aware, but energetically you connected and you guys, energy is so powerful. I just have so many miracle stories with energy. I love it. So now we're going to go do the conscious and the subconscious mind. This is like a really, if you can get this concept down too, it's really big. So let's just have Chris, you read the first paragraph and you read the second paragraph so it's not all me.
Our conscious mind is the primarily involved with active wakeful processes. It is ego-driven and therefore deals with our survival and the need to be right daily. Our conscious mind tends to deal with past and future, short-term memory processing 2,000 to 4,000 bits of information per second.
Don't you think that's fascinating? Okay, go ahead.
Our conscious mind is also part of the mind that is involved with how we perceive the world. I need some water. Sorry,
Okay, finish, Shelley. Just finish going on.
Our view of the world through our conscious mind is shaped out by our belief system. If we perceive the world as a dangerous place, then we attract dangerous circumstances into our lives. If we view the world as a loving place, then we attract loving experience into our lives.
So I have this neighbor. So I hike this trail all the time behind my house, and I've done it for 20 years. The same trail is way up in the mountains, and she takes a gun with her every time on this hike. And I'm like, why are you taking a gun? She says, oh, there's so many cuckoos out there. You just never know when someone's going to get you. And I said, I don't feel that ever. And I've been doing this for years. I go, have you had anyone? And she said, no, but there's snakes up there too, And she said, anyway, she went through this thing, I'm not going because it's hot. The snakes are going to come out. And I said, well, I've been jogging it every morning. I haven't seen one snake, But she kept seeing the snakes. She kept hearing of people that were dangerous up there that raped and did all this. Well, she's living in a fear-based thing. She'll most likely project the snakes. She could even project something happening to her by being so fear-based. She's going to attract that. And so if we see the world as an unsafe place, then it probably is. Or, and I'm not saying this if any of you do this. It's not a judgment thing. I'm just using it as an example. Sometimes parents that are really overprotective of their kids and watching their hands every 5 minutes and putting 20 layers of clothes on them when it's 70 degrees outside, then the moms who let their kids run out in the snow in their bare feet and germs and they're all dirty don't ever get sick, and these other kids do. Something like that. So you're kind of projecting, the mom's projecting her fear of germs and getting sick on the kid gets sick, and the mom who just doesn't really care, and those kids are fine, and their immune system's great, because the mom isn't projecting her energy. So that's really interesting, okay? Who wants to, Jill, do you want to read the next one? Okay, Jill, do you want to read this one? Read the third paragraph.
Okay. The subconscious mind is a little more complex. The subconscious mind is involved in operating and monitoring 95% of all the body functions, such as motor, heart rate, temperature, digestion, etc. The subconscious mind is the storehouse for our core belief systems, programs. Our core belief are the belief that we have about the world that are stored within the subconscious mind. Our core belief become like a filter that basically shapes how we see the world. All of our attitudes, experiences, values, and expectations are located within the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind thinks very literal and deals with things only in the present moment.
So basically it's saying whatever you think about, your subconscious mind believes. If I say I'm stupid, it literally believes I'm stupid. If I say that I am sad and angry, it will believe I'm sad and angry. It just thinks literal. But if you can look at it like it's your subconscious mind and your cells in the body just really don't know the difference between a truth or a lie, and it will believe whatever you tell it, then you would really be more conscientious of the story that you're telling yourself all the time, because the subconscious mind is going, this is a fact. She told me this. This is what I believe. It's a fact. And it doesn't have the ability to say, no, Andrea, you're not stupid. It just believes it. And over a long period of time, I keep saying that enough to myself, well, that's the energy that's going to come out of me, and that's the energy I'm going to attract back. And so that's why I said if you want to see where you're vibrating, kind of look at what you're attracting. I had to speak at this huge business meeting with all these businessmen. And I just thought it was really interesting, because to bring in this concept to businessmen was not a very fun thing. And so I just noticed that half the room was negative and this half was positive. And I just thought, isn't this, you can tell, I'm up here talking, this half is going, and they're smiling, this half is, And it was so obvious to me, and I thought, birds of a feather flock together. They just energetically went and sat by someone negative, and energetically they went and sat by someone positive. And it's just so fascinating to me. And so you just you vibrate, you feel comfortable with people that are vibrating at the same level as you are. Not good or bad, not a judgment, but you just feel comfortable more with If you can go and just kind of complain to a friend and you're both complaining all the time, you both feel comfortable doing that. If a complainer comes with Patty Positive and she's saying, oh, I don't think that, I like that person, they're good, then this person doesn't feel comfortable with them anymore. Either they leave or want to raise their vibration to meet hers. Is that making sense? And so just being aware of what your thoughts are and what you're telling your subconscious all the time, literally it believes it. It will believe it. But the conscious mind, you can kind of change, you can kind of get it to persuade it by changing and having a total whole new neurological pathway created by your thoughts and responding instead of reacting. And you can work on the conscious mind and getting change in your belief system and your filter with how you're seeing life through. So I want you to just, everybody stand up and just put your stuff on the side. And then you're going to still face this way, but I'm going to show you what you're going to do so you can see me. You're going to stand like this and take your hand, and you're going to keep your feet planted. Then you're going to take your hand, and your hips have to stay stationary. They can't move. Then you're going to take your hand right in front of you, and then you're going to move it like this, and I'm moving it clear back to the wall. And so now my hand is going right there by that little black dot. Now I saw it. So I'm measuring, that's how far my hand went back without me moving my hips. Then I'm going to move it back. Now I'm going to visualize I want it to go a little further past that back dot. I want it to go maybe right here. So then I'm going to visualize where I want my hand to go. I'm going to tell my hand, I want you to go 5 inches more than you did before. So then I'm going to stand right here. I visualized it. And then I'm going to stand right here and make my hand go back further. And then there I did. Does that make sense? It's kind of cool. You can do it with yourself. You can't cheat. You can't see I'm cheating. So that's what you're going to do. So find a spot on the wall back there when you do it, when you make it go back, and then visualize you want it to go further. Okay? So just do it at your own. Might need to scoot out more. People can come up here if you want. Yeah, come up here. Want to come up here? Come up here. Yeah. And then look where it went so you can measure it on the wall back there. So kind of see where you are, or if you can measure it by a person, and then say you want to go further. But visualize it first. Visualize how far you want it to go.
That's cool. Totally works.
Did it work?
Yeah.
See, and that you can sit, but that's so simple on just a tiny little second of what a visualization does to you. And that's why when you come into a cranial, I'm constantly saying, visualize this or feel this, because if the more you can use your senses, the more you can integrate it into your subconscious and the cellular memory. So now I want you to just close your eyes and visualize this. So visualize that just close your eyes and do the whole visualization with me. I just brought in this whole basket of lemons, and I have a cutting board, and I just cut the lemon in half, and then I asked you to open up your mouth, and I'm squeezing the lemon juice in your mouth. Now just, feel that lemon juice go all the way down in your mouth, and just kind of swish it around in your mouth a little and feel it go all the way down. Did it activate your saliva glands? Don't you think that's cool? So if you can visualize and you can activate your saliva glands by that, you can visualize in 3 seconds and you can make your hand go back further. If you took that to the next level, can you imagine all the things you can do? By visualizing it first. And that's why on one of the CDs I have is a template on how to spiritually create your day first. So if you took 5 minutes in the morning and you spiritually created the day how you wanted it to look first. Like I knew with 6 kids which kid was going to trigger me in the morning because he did the same thing all the time. I knew what kid was going to tease the other kid, and I knew that I would usually react instead of respond, but if I could visualize it in my head, me responding instead of reacting, then when that kid did the typical thing, I already had it in my subconscious mind, then that's what came out. Does that make sense? It works because you know the same people that are toxic. You know the same people that are going to trigger you at work. You know it. But if you can spiritually create it first in your head and visualize what you want it to look like or how you're going to respond instead of react, when that situation comes, it just automatically comes. And you get to create the day you want. And it's really easy, just like with what you just witnessed right now. We had, so the biggest thing, if you really want it to imprint in the subconscious mind and you really want it to go into a cellular level, you use all of your senses to do it. So, my husband and I, my mom and dad were in Nauvoo, and we were going to go visit them as a family. The kids got sick. We had the time taken off work. Kids got sick. We had allowed ourselves, I think it was $400 to do this trip. And we were going to go stay with them, but we couldn't go because the kids were sick. So then they got better in the middle. And then we were kind of going, well, this is a waste. Now we missed being able to go. And then we said, I said to Charlie as he's walking out in the door, well, where should we go now? We got to go somewhere. We both took this time off. And he said, Cancun. And then he just walked out the door. And I said, okay, visualize it. So he left, and then I did. And so I just did my little magic prayer on just saying, okay, God, send angels to orchestrate a way for Charlie and I to go to Cancun. And it can't cost more than $400 because that's all that we have. And so, and if you can, make it be during these times. And so then I was done. I said my little prayer, and I was grinding my wheat, and the phone was going off, and was ringing, and I thought I heard someone on the speaker, so I stopped the grinder, and I listened, and I just caught the end. And you have been chosen to win a free trip to Cancun. And I was like, no way, And I thought that was so cool. So I picked up the phone, and I did, okay, and I listened, and it said, tell them this code. So I tell the person this code on the other line, and they said, oh no, Cancun's been full for a long time. We're doing one to Vegas. And I said, I don't want to go to Vegas. The recording said Cancun. This was a code to Cancun. And she said, oh, I'm sorry. That was a mistake. We're only doing Vegas now. Cancun's all filled up. And I went to hang up, and I heard, pursue it. So I said, well, can I talk to the manager then? And she said, the manager's going to tell you the same thing I did. And I go, just can I talk to your manager? And she said, yes. So I did the whole thing with the guy. And I said, really, truly, I heard Cancun, and this was the code. Is this the code to Cancun? Yes. Well, then don't you have to honor that? And he said, yeah, ma'am, it's just full. And I go, please, just do me a favor and just check for me. I got my angels working on this. And he said, okay. And then he came back and he said, I don't believe this. There was an opening. There wasn't one there before. And I go, see, I told you. And he said, I want your angels. Do you have lotto angels? And I said, yeah, I do. Anyway, so then he said, well, okay. And I go, now here's the next part. Is it within the next 4 days? Can I have it in the next 4 or 5 days? And he started laughing. And I go, just check. Just do it for me. Just humor me. And he checked, and it was. He said, oh my gosh, I don't believe this. So, it was just so cool. And then it included the airfare and everything. And so we told people, so many people said to us, there is no way. That is the biggest scam. You're going to get there. It is going to be such a scam. Talk about doubting Thomas. I'm like going around thinking this is the coolest thing in the whole world. And everyone was dashing my dream. And Charlie and I just kept saying, no, we're not going to let that happen. And we're going to just go down there, and we're going to go, and it's going to be good. And then you're going to think that I'm really selfish. But I wasn't. But I wanted, you went to 2 different islands. I don't know, I'm saying it wrong, Island of Mujeres or something, and then there was Cancun. And I said to Charlie, it would be cool if we could do the whole time on Cancun instead of going to that island. And so we manifested going the whole time to the island instead of staying in Cancun. And so we did our little manifesting using all of our senses and everything. And then it was like, I don't know, the next day, I can't remember, but really close. And the phone rang, and they said, oh, Mrs. Carver, I apologize, but we have a convention in Cancun, and we need all the rooms. Is there any way you and your husband would be willing to stay on the island the whole time? Don't you think that is so cool? I was like, no, that'll be fine. Woo! I just couldn't believe it. And it was just so, I thought, this is so cool. And then he said, you'll have a yacht that'll pick you up, and everybody was going, there's not going to be a yacht. They're going to say it, and it's going to da-da-da-da-da. This yacht comes and pulls us up and takes us to the island, and everything that we told we would have, we had. And it was really cool. And I just wanted to do this to everybody that told me it didn't work. And we had a marvelous time, and it was $395. The trip was $395. So I just thought it was the coolest thing in the whole wide world. And we have manifested so many things together, and it's really powerful. The more people you can get do it with you. You know, we have our kids manifest things. And anyway, by visualizing it, seeing what, like feeling like what it will look like when I get to do this, and see what you look like and feel, you feel light, you feel happy, you feel energized, hear what people are saying, hear what your higher self is saying, you did it, good job, you know, and other people are saying, taste the sweetness of life and smell the fresh air and use all your senses to integrate what you want. Why not? So we had people after that said, I tried that and it didn't work. And I'm like, well, were you trying it to like see if it worked? Or were you trying believing, and your belief and your desire was both a 10 that it would work? You know, and they admitted they were just seeing if it would work. You know, so it's energy. Your energy knows if you really believe it or not. But use your 6 senses to manifest what you want. It's pretty darn powerful. If I were to say this, like, and I said, okay, try to take this off of my hand. Nope. Like this time, really try hard, Kristen. Just try as hard as you can to take this off of my hand. Really hard try. Nope.
Oh, try harder.
Try harder than that last one.
Try harder. Does anybody have any ideas?
So if I were to do it to her,
Yeah.
and now say, try to take this off my hand.
Okay, try to take this off my hand. But I'm, oh.
I either do or I don't, right? Yoda? So I either do or I don't. But try is here. Try is on the hand. Take it off, I can take it off. Leave it, I leave it. Try, I can't get it off. So when you use the word try in your vocabulary, you're giving your subconscious a way out. I'm going to try to make it. Well, you're not going to make it. I'm going to try to meditate in the morning. You're not going to meditate. I'm going to try to get up and exercise. You're giving your subconscious a way out. If you say, I am going to get up at 5 and exercise, you're more likely to do that. Or I choose to get up and exercise instead of I have to, I need to, I'm obligated to, whatever. But when you use the words I choose, I want, I am, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind want to do that. When you say I have to get up and exercise, the mind hears, you know, have to, need, should. We should on ourselves all day long. And then we wonder why we're not getting results because we're doing it out of guilt or obligation instead of I choose, I want, I am. And it will definitely help carry that frequency to get manifesting what you want. So sometimes we run into situations where we may get like, okay, I had this one lady and she put on her intake form, I put, what are your emotional or physical concerns? And she wrote, I'm sick and tired all the time. And she put it in great big capital letters with exclamation marks. So then when she came in and she started talking to me and I just read that and I said, okay, just kind of tell me what's going on with you. And she said, well, I'm just sick and tired of the way my husband treats me. And I am just sick and tired of not being respected at work and my boss. And my boss just doesn't respect anything I say. And I'm sick and tired of my kids ignoring me. My kids ignore everything I say. And I just am sick and tired of just feeling like I don't matter. And I said, well, you've used sick and tired 800 times in the first 5 minutes of being here. And look what you wrote on your paper, that you're sick and you're tired all the time. So her words manifested to her body that she was sick and she was tired because that's what she told herself all the time. And that was in her verbiage. Or when you say, oh, it's so good, it's to die for, you know. I mean, even little things like that is just kind of a to your spirit. Or this is so good, it's to live for, you know. Just tweaking your verbiage around a little bit because it everything negative that comes has a vibration, and you're constantly wanting to put words in there that will raise your frequency in your body. And so being really conscious of those words. So one girl in a workshop, I was saying that you know, to how much energy, and my belief is, I believe that your emotions have a bigger part on your health than what you eat or your sleep or physical. And I said that to a lady, and she raised her hand and she said, well, that makes sense because I exercise, I'm a personal trainer, I eat right, I get 8 hours of sleep, and I'm always tired. And I said, but look at what's going on in your mind emotionally. Her mind never shut up. It never shut up. And so she was tired, even though she was doing all these things, because emotionally she was drained. And so by clearing your subconscious mind and your conscious mind of these limiting beliefs that we're constantly putting in our head, frees up the space for our chi, or our prana energy, our life force energy, to circulate through the chakras and to keep energizing us. So we have to get rid of that negative energy every day. So I gave you a bookmark that has the ways to release this from you and get it out of your system all the time by just doing these simple little steps. So I'm just going to have you stand up for this part. So you don't have to read it on the bookmark because I'm going to tell it to you, but at least you'll have it. So spread out, kind of spread out big. And then you're going to just release all the negative thoughts. So I'm going to tell you energetically what I'm feeling by different people in the room, and some may be you and some not, and if it doesn't apply, sometime in your life you did. So just echo it in your mind with what I'm saying, okay? So right now, just close your eyes and then repeat in your mind. You don't have to say it out loud. I choose to release and let go. You're giving your body permission to let go of these negative thoughts that you've stored in your body. So all it takes is permission to leave, and it will leave as easy as it came in. So I choose to release and let go of not feeling safe or secure, not feeling grounded, feeling flighty, scattered, feeling unsafe, feeling a lack of confidence, a lack of self-worth, feeling disconnected from my higher self and God and people, feeling introverted, feeling unsafe to share, feeling like I'm not heard or validated or understood, feeling alone, feeling rejected, hurt, shattered dreams, disappointment, anger, resentment, pride, ego, inability to forgive, feeling stuck, like you can't move forward, confusion, inner conflict, self-doubt, lack of peace, comparing myself, judging myself, feeling like other people are judging me like I judge myself, judging others, inability to receive love, having an attachment attached to love, should look a certain way, inability to see yourself how God does. Those are just for starters. So now, just say, I choose. No, I'm going to just give you a few minutes to just release anything else in you that I didn't say that's negative, that's polluting the water around your brain and organs. And give your body permission to let it go. An argument, something you keep rehashing all the time. And now say, I choose to release it on a cellular level. This is everywhere you could have stored it in your body. I choose to release it on a cellular level, a core, and a soul level. A history, that's your whole history since you've been born. A history and a genetic level. Some of it's from our ancestors. I choose to release and let it all go now. Then you're going to tap on your thymus right here 12 times. And then you're going to put it right here on your governing meridian point, right below your belly button. This is where everything goes in and out. It's like where the umbilical cord is. And then just take a great big deep breath and inhale. Now do the visualization of it all going out of you and light just coming down and pulling it all out of you and taking it down to Mother Earth. Like it's out of you. You don't want it in you anymore. The more visual, the better it releases. Get it out. Now just draw a big circle in front of you. An energy circle. And so if you don't have room for your circle, move out somewhere. So you can do it, or come up here if you need to. And then we're going to put stuff in our energy circle. And because of lack of time, I'm just going to name a few. Usually I let you all put your own in, but I'm going to do a few. So just you're going to just like grab this energy and put it in your energy circle. I am confident, I'm empowered, I'm full of light, I am energetic, I am hopeful, I am trusting, I am worthy of love, I am worthy to give and receive love, I am abundant, I am experiencing money flowing into me effortlessly, I am charitable with my money. The more I give, the more I receive. Money flows into my life effortlessly. I am abundant physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. I am loved. I am supported. I am confident and secure. I am stable. Now, just step in that energy circle. Now, visualize rubbing all that yummy energy all over you. So just rub it around your beautiful lean tight calves and your beautiful lean knees and your beautiful thighs free of cellulite and varicose veins. And rub it on your narrow little hips and your flat stomach and your firm breasts and big chest for a man and your lean defined arms and your beautiful flawless skin and your thick full head of hair. Now take that energy circle and pull it up and pull it all around you and see it as a purple bubble. Now put your arms around it and make sure there's no holes in your purple bubble and just make it all the way around. Purple is deity. It's angels. It's God. It's your higher self. Now see yourself in this purple bubble with angels, with God, with your beautiful spirit. See you're in this purple bubble. Nobody can get in there. Visualize it. I kind of like to visualize they're going like this, like, do not come in here. This is Andrea's sacred space. And then I'm just in that purple bubble. And then I just say, I'm shielded and protected and impervious to all evil. So say that. And just accept, accept, accept. And if you want, you can do forever with me on the governing meridian point and always on your heart. Okay, now you can sit down. So what people do is commonly they do positive affirmations, but the positive affirmations, there's still the yuck in there. So it's kind of like you have dirty laundry and you're putting clean laundry on top of dirty laundry and the stench is going up. So it's like you have to clean house first and get the negative energy out first, and then you can have the positive energy come in. Does that make sense? Otherwise, it's not getting filtered through. So whenever something comes in or I get offended or somebody hurt my feelings, I kind of process it for a while, and then when I'm ready, I tap it and take it out. But sometimes I say, you know what, I want to feel sorry for myself for a little bit. I may want to stay on the pity pot for a couple hours, and I may want to be the little victim for a second. And then when I'm done being on the pity pot or being on the victim mode, then okay, I'm ready to get this out, and then I tap it out and get it out before it smolders. Because you can't always change your emotions that fast. It takes a minute to process, but you know what it feels like, and sometimes you just want to be on your pity pot. And sometimes when my kids come to me with something and they're telling me, And I say, do you want my input or do you want me to just listen? I just want you to listen. Okay, then I let them tell me, and they vent and vent and vent, and then I say, okay, let me know when you're ready, you know, because they want to feel sorry for themselves for a minute. And they want to be on their victim pity pot for a while. And then when they're ready, sometimes they come to me and sometimes they figure it out by themselves. But it's just being able to like give yourself permission to like be human. It's okay that I'm mad. It's okay that I got my feelings hurt. It's okay. And just not judge yourself. But then when you let go of being human and say, okay, now, you know, let me see, you got to take the negative out. Then your third eye, your spiritual eye, can open eye up and let you have a different perspective than like you praying to God with this low frequency prayer. Why can't I hear you? Because you're in this low frequency mode. So I kind of like to, you know, have a venting prayer where I just vent, but I'm not wanting to hear anything back. I just need to get it out. And then when I feel like I got it all out, then I'm ready, and then I say, okay, I'm ready to hear now. And then you can hear him. Because people will say, he doesn't ever answer me. I don't ever feel he's there, because we're praying a low frequency prayer, expecting to hear a high frequency answer, and we can't hear it. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions so far? So I just think it's okay to be human and get our humanness out first, and then you can put the positive stuff back in. I just think a lot of times we overlook that, or we say, I shouldn't feel this way. I'm bad for thinking like this. This is wrong. And we put so much judgment on ourselves that we just keep getting worse and worse, instead of, I know I'm going to get over this right now. I just want to get all my humanness out so I can hear my spirit better. But when all that yuck just keeps recycling, it's hard to even hear what our spirit's saying. So it's okay to be human. So we did the purple bubble. And so now I want to teach you this last little concept. Does anyone have any questions before I go on further? I'm teaching you a lot of stuff. But they're powerful tools you can do on yourself, and you can protect yourself. I had all my kids, while they were waiting to pick up carpool in the morning, clear themselves before they went to school, dump it out, step in the circle, put the energy all over them, zip themselves up, and then I said, if your friends are mean and they say something mean to you, it's like they're just chucking a big poop balloon at you. And if you believe it, you're rubbing that poop all over you. But if you visualize you're in your purple bubble, it just kind of bounces right off, and it's their stuff. It's their yuck. It's not yours. And so to keep themselves in the balloon. And I mean, I even did it with my boys that had their friends that were afraid to ask girls out for a date. And I had them visualize it, and I had them draw an energy circle, and I had them take all their fears and their insecurities out and step in the energy circle and put it all over them. I mean, all the kids think I'm weird, and they call me a voodoo lady, but they do my stuff. And so, but it works, and I just had my kids do it every morning, and then I said, okay, visualize the day you want to have it look like. You know, you're struggling in math, visualize you getting math, visualize the concepts, and just had them visualize it before they went. You can do it with your grandkids, you can do it with whoever you see is struggling. But really, I have the most sensitive heart in the whole world, and cry and feel everybody's pain. I could not work every day on people all day long if I wasn't in my purple bubble. I mean, it works. And I just visualize, I put my hands through the bubble, and then I'm working on people, and I feel what you're feeling, but I don't take it on. And it's the magic of being in the purple bubble. And really, when I told these businessmen about the purple bubble, and they were laughing their heads off, this half was, and mocking me almost, you know, and this half was, you know, kind of nodding like, oh yeah, I can see that. It's the energy that you're saying, I'm protected by deity, and I'm not going to allow anybody's bad day to enter my purple bubble. No matter how toxic the person is that you live with, you can protect yourself in that purple bubble. It really does work. And so I even do it when, you know, I love my husband. He's the low maintenance person of America, but I don't want to take on his energy when I sleep. So I even put myself in a purple bubble when I go to bed at night, just so I'm not exchanging energy back and forth. And so it's just so, I can't even tell you, how magical it is to really keep yourself in a purple bubble and clean out in the morning before you start your day and clean out before you go to bed. You'll sleep better. And then if you listen to the CDs on top of it, you'll sleep even better than that. And you will have, you know, just feeling more connected. So, let's see. Oh, I'm going to teach you this other one. This is to release emotional or physical pain. So you can do it with either one that you're feeling or experiencing. And this one really works. So I'm going to have you all do this. This one I did. So my son-in-law, when my daughter got married, thought that everything I did was really voodoo-y and ridiculous. And he just didn't buy into any of it. And then we went on a trip with him to Boston, and he had this massive headache. And we had to stop driving. We were going to Salem, and he had to get out and go, you know, throw up and then get back in the car because the pressure in his head was so bad. And then, so we went around to a few shops and stuff in Salem, and then he was getting, you know, he said, I'm going to go in the car. This is just too much. And his mom was saying, well, just try to eat first and see if that feels better. And he was saying, it won't feel better. I know my head. I don't even want to eat. It's so bad. And so she said, just try it. So we went to the restaurant, and he's doing this the whole time, and he's leaning back like this the whole time, and he was just miserable. And then I just said, if you'll come back with me, I can fix that. And I said, just don't say anything. And so he left, and then I got up after, and I told him to meet me in the bathroom, you know, by the bathroom. And so everybody had ordered, and they were talking, and I just went back there, and I did this technique on him, and I said, but you really have to believe this, and if you think it's stupid, it's not going to work. And he goes, I'll do anything, I'm so desperate. And I said, anything means believe me. And he goes, okay. And he did it, and it went away. And it was so cool. And so he has sent his whole family to me. The whole entire family has come. His mom and everybody's come. Not the dad, because he's a doctor and this is weird. But all the rest have. And so, but it's just it worked on something as painful as this migraine. So I'm going to have you think right now. Think of a pain or an emotional pain that is always there. And just like when you've got that in your mind, raise your hand, so I won't go on until everybody's with me. Emotional or physical pain. Okay. Now remember, your desire and your belief have to both be a 10. Okay? So close your eyes. Okay, good. Now just close your eyes and visualize whichever physical or emotional pain. Now put it into a shape and a color. The emotional or physical pain. And when you have it, then raise your hand again. Okay, good. So now open your eyes for this part. So you've got your pain contained into this shape and color. These are called sylvans. You have one right here, you have one right here, you have one right here, and one in the back right here. And it's like an ice cream cone. So the point of the ice cream cone is right here, and then it opens up right there. So you have here, 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 and here. So we're going to pull that out of the different components of the head. We're going to first visualize if it was a physical pain or how this emotional pain affects you physically. And we're going to pull it out of the left sylvan. So you're going to visualize grabbing the shape, and in your mind you're going to squeeze it in half, and then you're going to like pull it out of the cone part, and then you're going to pull it all the way out to there, and then I'll go to the next step, okay?
You're
So,
physically doing it?
Yeah, you're actually doing it just like I did. Remember, the more visual, the better. This is how it affects you physically, whatever pain you're experiencing. Squish it in half. And now pull it out of the sylvan on the left side of your brain. Just really slow. See it squishing through there. And see it pulling, pulling, pulling. And you got it all the way out to the big opening of the cone. Now you're going to let it go. Now see if it goes up or if it goes down in your head. Just let it go. You don't need to tell me. You're going to watch it. If it goes up, you're going to watch it until you can't see it anymore. If it goes down, you're going to watch it till you can't see it roll out to the river or whatever. And then when you're done and it's gone, put your hand down. Okay, now we're going to do it again. Same shape, same color, same pain. Squeeze it. And now we're going to pull it out of the right side of our Sylvan. This is how it affects you emotionally. Are you crabby, ornery, sad, hurt? Squeeze it. Pull it out. Real slow. Watch it pull out. And then when you release it, see if it goes up or down. And just watch it till it doesn't come out anymore, and then put your hand down when you can't see it. This is the back of your head. So feel the pain, shape and color, squish it, pull it right in the center, the back of your head, pull it out, real slow. This is how it affects you mentally. Can't think, scattered mind, can't focus. Pull it out, slow. And then release it. Now this is how it affects you spiritually. How it affects you if you're connected to your spirit, if you're connected to God, to deity, to angels. How it affects your spirituality. We're going to pull it out of our third eye. So visualize how it affects you spiritually. Think about it. Put it in that shape. Squeeze it. Sometimes when you're in pain, it's hard to even connect to your higher self or to God. Pull it out. Real slow. Release it. Keep your eyes closed. Now, I'll wait for a few more people. Now visualize the most beautiful light of grace. Just God's grace. Just coming down now through the top of your crown chakra. You have all that extra space in your head now that's been being occupied by that pain. You got to fill it back up. Anything you take out, you got to fill back up. See God's light of grace coming down in the form of a light down through the top of your crown chakra and filling your whole head up with the most beautiful, gorgeous light of His grace. Just making up the difference for your humanness, for your flesh, and for your ego. And then just let your whole head be filled with that light. So all the spaces where we took that out are now filled with His grace. And then while you're at it, just let that light go all the way down your body and push out any of those negative thoughts. Like that dark, murky water that's been surrounding your organs is now being filled with light, and the water is getting pushed out as it goes all the way down your body. Your whole body is being filled with this beautiful light of grace, making up the difference for your humanness. And watch the light go all the way down until it goes out your feet, and your whole body's cleansed and purified with that white light. And now all the water surrounding your brain and your organs is cleansed, purified, healed through God's grace. And when it's complete, you can open your eyes. Not you doing the healing, it's God's grace doing the healing. His light. So, by show of hands, did that work? Yeah? Is there anyone that didn't work on? You afraid to say? And if it didn't, it may just take some practice till your belief and your desire match. Don't be judgmental of yourself. Just like, well, this is an area where I really want my desire and my belief to match. This is something I can practice on. Because you can have an intent, but if you have this belief that's not going to carry it through, it takes practice because you've had years and years and years of believing the other way. So don't be hard on yourself. Just like, you know what, this is an area where I'm going to work on, where I'm going to get my belief and my desire to match. And don't want to put a kink in the flow of energy by having doubt or fear. And so, like, that is another really cool thing that can usually work. That if you have your belief and your desire, because it affects all those components of your brain, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Pain, any kind of pain, affects all those areas in the mind. So being able to pull it out of all those areas, those are the parts that may trigger that pain, emotional or physical pain. If you pull it out, it will leave. And then just leave the crown chakra open. So if you want to write this down, I'll tell you. So the left side is the mental part, is the physical part, how it affects you physically. The right side of the brain is emotional. The back is mental. Spacey, can't think, foggy brain. And your the left is physical, the right is emotional, the back is mental. And the third eye is spiritual, how it affects you spiritually. And then you just allow God's grace to come in through the crown to cleanse, purify, and heal. Sylvans, Sylvinns. And that's the shape of an ice cream cone.
Can you spell that once more?
Sylvinns. Any other questions? Yes.
Is there any significance to if it goes up or if it goes down?
It's like either you want to give it to God or you want to let Mother Earth take care of it. So just kind of let it go where it wants. Yes.
What about the shape and color?
The shape and color usually, like the color, is really mainly where you located that in your chakras. So it maybe originated, you're storing most of it in your root chakra. Maybe not feeling safe or secure or stable, or maybe it's affecting your heart chakra. If it's green, it's just hurting a lot. Or maybe it's affecting your power in your yellow, and it's yellow in your solar plexus. So yeah, usually it does have a significance, and that's where you store it mostly in the body. It's usually where it is. Black is just, usually most people do black, and black is like just the symbolic of just yuck, just an ultimate yuckiness, and all the colors put together are white, So really, when you're thinking about wearing colors, if you wear white underneath everything, you're still energizing all those different parts of your chakras too. So if we use all these really powerful tools, and we have the power of our mind and this power of energy on being able to get the energy to support what our mind wants, and we have ways to take it out, whether it's through the Sylvans, tapping it out, ways to protect ourselves by putting it in a purple bubble, ways to allow yourself and not judge yourself so harshly, and just say, it's okay, I'm having a humanist moment right now, and when I'm ready I'll get rid of it, and then I'll pick myself up and we'll clear ourselves. And when you're ready to do it, and it's okay to let go of judgment, to let go of fear, to let go of doubt, and to be able to start really creating the life you want, because your perception gets to create whatever you want in your life, and you can have it look however you want. That's why one person sees the glass half full and one person sees the glass half empty. So there's really no reason, when we keep getting all these tools, not to constantly progressing every day. And I'll talk more on the other series on neurological pathways and different things like that, and how we can fix that and heal that. But I just encourage you to practice all these tools, because I gave you several today. This usually is an 8-hour class, and I crammed a whole bunch in 2 hours, and that was really hard. And so to be able, usually I expand for quite a while on each one, but you mostly got it, right? So the only one that I did not do, which I'll do with you, are you okay if I go 5 minutes over? Because it's 9 o'clock right now. So I gave you a paper on it, but I think if you actually do it, the paper will make sense. So this is connecting the left and the right brain together. So sometimes it's like you just have this scatteredness in your head and you can't connect them. And have any of you heard of Brain Gym? So this is a Brain Gym exercise that you can do. And so one time the teacher told my little boy that he had to go in remedial reading and math. And he just had a freakazoid, and he was devastated. And so I looked up this Brain Gym and started doing it with him every single day to help him connect his right and left brain together. And he got it, and he never did. And he's in college and has got a 4.0 the whole time. So it really does work. In fact, it did such an improvement that his teacher had him teach all the 3rd graders. And she did it every morning. She had him teach the class, and he did it because she noticed all their scores improved. So if you're dehydrated, drink water. If you need to get some back there, just hurry and get a glass. When you're dehydrated, your right and left brain can't connect. So staying hydrated is really important. So there's water back there if you want to get a glass, or drink some right now. But remember, if you feel foggy, sometimes you're just dehydrated. It's so important to keep water with you in the car all the time. And you should try to drink like 8 ounces before you do this instead of just a sip. So drink a lot.
Is there anything you can do for somebody who's maybe autistic? Something like that?
Yes, I can give you a simplified version of it. I'll give you a whole simplified version of doing it. Okay, drink away. Okay, then I'm going to have you put your books to the side. And then you're going to stand up, but you're going to have to spread out again and give yourself some room. And so right here on your chest, like if you kind of feel this, you can feel where it's tender. Find the part, like right here by your clavicle, just kind of go up and down, and you'll feel a tender spot. You guys have a tender spot there? Yeah. That's your brain buttons. So if they're tender, So you got to wake them up. So I'll wait for these guys to drink their water. So everyone right here, find your tender spot, just right by your clavicle. And then you're going to wake it up by just kind of going like this. Just wake it up. So first you drink the water, then you wake up your brain buttons. Then you're going to take your elbow to the opposite knee and touch it 4 times. Like 1, 2, 3, opposite elbow, opposite knee. 4. Then you're going to do it to the back. 1, opposite hand to heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 of each. Elbow to the knee, back, back, elbow to the knee, back, back. Now take your right hand, cross it over your left hand, clasp it. Take your right leg, cross it over your other leg, so you're doing both rights. Bring it up through. Now you're going to inhale through one nostril, switch sides, exhale through the other nostril, inhale, same nostril, switch sides, exhale. So you did an inhale and an exhale on each nostril. Take your legs, cross the left over now. Onto your hands, left hand over. Clasp it. Bring it up through. Okay, same thing. Inhale. Switch, exhale. Inhale. Switch, exhale. Okay, now open your legs back up again. One more time with your brain buttons. And then lock it in. Right and left brain integration over your power center and just lock it in. And that's it. And that little exercise I did with my kids in the morning too, that really helped. It will just help you connect the right and left brain. Okay, that was really good. You can sit down. So you got a ton of tools, right? Yes. So I want everybody to show of hands you're going to practice the tools, right? Even if you just said, all I'm going to do is one a day, and all you did was practicing tapping the negative out when you feel it. Maybe it just came in, woo, that lady bugged me. Choose or at least being bugged and annoyed, you know. Just so you don't have that in you circulating, recycling all the time. And you guys have great energy. So thank you for Smiley, there was no negatives, Patty positives, and certain you're all together. Because really people that come to these want to improve themselves. And so I feel blessed because I really have, the hard people is going to talk at the U of U nurses and the doctors and to going to talk to businessmen. Those were hard. But this, I almost always get really great energy because